Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cruise News Show. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news. And on today's show, we have a very important question to explore. Will you be the first to cruise? That's right, we're ticking off the days until we start to cruise again, and it's closer than it has been in months. There's a lot of activity going on. 2 days away from the CDC no-sail order expiring, 2 days away from the CLIA voluntary ban on sailing expiring. All the major cruise lines, they've canceled their November cruises, so let's look at November as a getting ready to go month for cruises to resume in December. And it begs the question, wait, hold on, breaking news. There's outbreaks in Europe. The cruise companies will shut down. Oh, wait, what's that? No, they won't. Very interestingly, we've had this conversation as the virus continues to rage and spike throughout the world. Will shutdowns and ports being closed cause the cruise lines to pause in their resumption of cruising? Well, the answer, at least in Germany and Italy, is no, it won't. TUI Cruise Lines, they've been cruising for quite a while now over there in Germany successfully. They're partially owned by Royal Caribbean. They've come out and said even though the government is locking down a lot of Germany, they are still open for business. They're still booking cruises. They will not stop cruising. They believe in their health protocols. And in the same way, we've got Costa Cruise Line adjusting their itineraries to accommodate for places that are locking down. They're not stopping cruising. They're going to continue to cruise in Italy. They're just changing up the ports. So there's not a posture by the cruise lines to shut back down once they get restarted. And again, I think we're closer than ever to cruising resuming here in the United States. A lot of articles popping off about the cruise lobby being very present in Washington right now, making their rounds to the Congress, making their rounds to the White House, employing the federal agencies to encourage the CDC to lift the no-sail ban in a couple days. All that does seem to indicate that there is a good chance that cruising will be here sooner rather than later. So back to the original question, will you be first to cruise? Now, I've got some scenarios that I'm going to lay out for you. These are the scenarios. I would love to see you in the comments say, yeah, I'm in this scenario, I'm in this bucket, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the scenarios. I'm going to tell you which of these scenarios, which one of these categories I fit in, and then as a special bonus, I'm going to tell you why all of these scenarios, what's wrong with the people that are choosing these scenarios. Are they brave? Are they stupid? Are they afraid? Are they unwise? Are they super wise? Are they geniuses? Are they big babies? I'm going to go through all of that. I think I've got a good handle on it because I've had a lot of feedback. I'm going to let you know at the very end of the video if you fit in one of these categories what your major malfunction is. Stick to the end of the video so I can tell you exactly what's wrong with you. That should be fun. Here's the categories. Let's work with the idea. Let's work inside the framework that you can cruise in December. Maybe that's not going to happen. Maybe that's unrealistic, but let's have a thought experiment here. Cruising in December and you have the opportunity to go. Will you be the first person to get on a cruise ship? Royal Caribbean calls you up and says, hey, we want you to bring your camera and get on the very first cruise ship. How would you answer that question? That scenario seems way too real, but how would you answer that question? That's scenario number one. Scenario number two, you would cruise in the first month. So say that cruising starts at the beginning of December or mid-December. You see a few cruises go off, and within 4 weeks, within 4 cruises, would you get on a cruise ship? That is scenario number two. Scenario number three, will you wait until there is a vaccine to go cruising? That's a popular one. I will not cruise until there is a vaccine. Do you fit in that scenario? Scenario number three. Scenario number four, will you wait to cruise until there are no masks? I've heard people say that. I'm not cruising with a mask. Will you wait for that to be the case? Scenario number 5, I will wait until there are no health protocols. When all of the health protocols go away, not just the mask, when all of the health protocols go away, look, I'm Jedi mind tricking the protocols away. When all of the health protocols goes away, I will cruise. Are you that person? Do you enjoy getting information about cruises? Do you enjoy hanging out with me a little bit, just a tiny bit? Please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and every time I upload a video, you'll know about it, and that would be great. And I would say thank you in advance. Please subscribe. And now back to the back to the list. Scenario number 6, I will not go cruising until I can explore the ports on my own. A lot of people on the chip about this idea that you can only take ship excursions under the new health protocols, that you will be wrangled, as it were, that you will be closely watched, and you won't be able to vary off the beaten path and explore on your own. Will you refrain from cruising as long as there is a restriction on the exploration of the ports? Scenario number 7 is it's just too much too soon. Just give me a year. How about that? Let me just arbitrarily say I'm going to wait a year before I go cruising. That way things should be back to normal. I'll have some better idea what's going on. I'm not going to go cruising until I know for sure that everything's copacetic, and I should be able to get that done in a year. Do you fit in that scenario? Scenario number 8, will you wait to cruise until you are guaranteed that you will not be quarantined on the cruise ship? A lot of people worried about getting stuck on the cruise ship, and that is one of their decision conditions. I will not go cruising if there is a risk that I will be quarantined on the cruise ship. Is that you? Number 9, and let me throw a bone out for some of the dissenters out there. Will you not cruise again until the cruise lines are environmentally friendly? I know that doesn't have anything to do with the pandemic, but you know, we get you out there sometimes. How about you? Are you not cruising because of the environmental position of the cruise line? Is that your scenario, number 9? And number 10, this could be your scenario. I will never cruise again. Some people have said it out there that they're just at a place in their life where they don't see it being a possibility anymore. How about that? Number 10, will you never cruise again because for whatever reason, you're just never going to cruise again? Is that your scenario? Now, I do challenge you to pick one of these scenarios, put it in the comments, and if there's another scenario that I missed, just write that in the comments. So I'm going to tell you which scenario I'm in, and then I will tell you, based on all of these scenarios, exactly what each of these scenarios says about you. Any guesses on where I'm at on this? What happens if I do get the phone call from a cruise line that says, Tony, we want you to bring a camera. We want you to go on the very first cruise. We want you to film the health protocols. We want you to share it with the people out there. Will you do it? What would my answer be? No. Not yet. So I'm a heavy guy. I am in one of those classifications where statistically I would not do well if I got the virus. And so I'm a little bit wait and see. I'm very excited about the protocols that are going on in Europe, and they have had great success. But European passengers are different than American passengers. I don't know the level of enforcement we're going to have here in the U.S. when it comes to the health protocols. Big fan of the health protocols. If I could go on a cruise ship and know that the health protocols are all rock solid and that they will be strictly enforced, that's a plus for me. And so I want to see one or two. I want to see one or two. I want to see all 3 cruise lines send out cruises 2 weeks in a row, and I want to see how they respond to people that are rebellious against the protocols. I want to see if these protocols actually work. So yeah, for first cruise, I would probably say no. I may have just talked myself out of a free cruise, but first cruise, I'm going to say no, but I would go within the first month. If I get a couple cycles of these protocols working and it kind of matches up what's going on in Europe, everything looks the same, I'll do it. I'll try it. I don't know if I'm ready to take Jenny on it, though. I feel like I might only want to take the risk myself, but within the first month, I would go on a cruise. That's my answer to the question. That's the category I'm in. So within the first month, I'm that person. Now, to the real interesting thing, to the psychological thing. Look, some people will tell you, like, if you don't want to go on a cruise very first one, you're a fraidy cat. They're the bravest people in the world. They're not afraid of anything. Some people will tell you that. Some people will say that you're crazy if you want to go on the first cruise, and that caution is the way to go. Let me just make it simple. Look, I drug you all the way to the end of this video. However you choose to do this, it doesn't mean anything negative about you. And look, if you're out there trying to cast shame or bully people because they won't go on the first cruise, or if you're mad at people for going on the first cruise, come on now. This doesn't mean anything. People are taking in the information that's out there and making the best decision for themselves. If somebody wants to be cautious, it doesn't mean they're afraid. If somebody understands the risk and wants to go on the first cruise, it doesn't mean that they're crazy or unwise. Everybody gets to make this decision for themselves, and you would hope that human decency would allow you to look at your fellow person and say, all right, you make those decisions. Now, again, this has nothing to do with following the rules, none of that kind of stuff. Without exception, you have to follow the rules. I do think you're off the rails a little bit if you're going to ignore the rules, because that doesn't just affect you. That affects everybody else that's going through this risk analysis, whether or not to cruise. But regardless what scenario you're in, it doesn't mean that you're better or less than anybody else. I respect your decision. How about that? Interesting thought experiment on the show today. Super excited to look at the comments, see when people are going to cruise. The word for today is understanding. If you are so creatively inclined, see if you can work the word understanding into your comment. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you did enjoy the show. Please show your support by hitting the like button. This is Tony for La Lita Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.